Hey, what's up? On this episode of Above Atlas, on this video blog, I really wanted to call myself out on what a racist, prejudiced individual that I could be. We laugh at Donald Trump, what he says about, banning Muslims. We scoff at racist people and we point fingers and name names, but I believe we have a little bit of racism and prejudice in all of us. And so I'm calling my own inner racist, not really racist, but my own inner prejudiced dark passenger out. Yesterday, as I'm standing in line waiting, I see this guy in a Muslim garb. He had his cap on, looking quite a bit, like Muslim, but like the fundamentalist Muslim. And I'm like, what the heck is he doing at a meditation retreat? And he turns around, introduces himself, we strike up a conversation, and it actually blew my mind. His name is Abby, and he's from Saudi Arabia, and looks, really cool in this neat getup. And by the way, the pink shoes, what contrasted? What drew me was the duality and the contrast of that. So tell me a little bit about this whole getup you got here. The cool thing about these events is that we're studying. One thing that's interesting is Abby here is a chemical engineer in Saudi Arabia, and now he's gone completely, like the pendulum has swung entirely the opposite way into learning about spirituality and meditation. And of course, being from Saudi Arabia, your introduction to spirituality is through Islam, right?
Not really.
No, it wasn't. What was your introduction to the divine in growing up?
Well, the thing is, when you grow up in a culture that's embedded in religion, most often than not, you don't really talk about the spiritual aspect. It's more of the dogma.
Exactly. But what I was referring to was that your introduction to that other realm, the divine, is through Islam. Like mine was through...
Sure, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your evolution and why you're here. You grew up with religion, with organized religion, as I did as well. And now what brings you here compared to like what everybody's been...
You see the merit in your religion, right?
Yeah.
But you also look at the programming that took place and how whatever it is that you're doing is lacking. You know what I mean? And there's something missing in the equation that is not being taught. And you need to, unfortunately, do your own homework. And unfortunately, there aren't, as far as I know, Muslims that do this work, or like Baha'is or Christians, like, there should be because, if you look at history and you look at, the mystics of Islam, Sufism, or the mystics of Christianity, it's the same thing at its core, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's connecting the divine, it's having this open channel to God, you know what I mean? And manifesting that into this world.
Beautiful. So tell me about your evolution. You were raised within a Muslim society, and you got the whole get up with the pink shoes,
Yeah.
Okay. And you're a chemical engineer, and now you got turned on to meditation.
Yeah, well,
and you had to go out. You're talking about going outside of the box of organized religion to get into the divine in a different form.
Well, I guess it's not outside of the box of organized religion per se. It's more of outside of convention and what's expected from religion where I am from, anywhere, depending on where you are from.
So how did you get into meditation, and what did it give you that was missing before?
Well, I'm 30 years old now, and I think it started when I started work when I was 24. I started realizing I had no purpose, and then I started realizing how I had all these insecurities and all these anxieties that were really not congruent to, actualizing my true self, you know what I mean?
Your authentic, real you.
My authentic,
You're trying to
real
find who that was.
Exactly.
and you found meditation, you went inside, and then you discovered something.
Yeah,
What was it?
Like, look, I think that if you look at all the sages and the prophets of the past, they all went through trials and tribulations. That's the first step to seeking the truth is to go through
some shit.
is to go through some shit, so to speak, because if you didn't go through that shit, you just cruise and just do the same shit that you were doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that pain, you want to find a way to get rid of that pain, right? And what way better than to seek, your true self and to seek God, you know what I mean? And,
Through inward. Through an inward search.
Inside out.
Well, that's what we're here to do, and I just wanted to illustrate how diverse this work is going inside, meditation, finding your inner voice, allowing that to come through you, and connecting to universal intelligence from inside. So we got Abby here, my new friend from Saudi Arabia, and it's only the beginning. One of the coolest parts about going to a Joe Dispenza workshop is that there's always chiropractors present. Booyah! So the result of this conversation ends up being that we register, we go out for lunch, we become like close friends. Because I'm staying at the Airbnb with no Wi-Fi, he offered to have me do my coaching group call for my mastermind students in his room while he sat there doing yoga and meditating. He's a hippie, he's a vegan, he's so interesting, and he's like my new best friend. So I just wanted to call myself out, and I'm just so present to how often I will look at how often because I know I'm not alone. You can't say that you don't do the same. That I look at things, I look at people, and I'm quick to snap judgments already just by the way that he was dressed, which is pretty freaking hilarious, by the way, with those pink shoes. How quick I am to judge, how quick I am to all of a sudden categorize and just assume that I got this guy completely figured out. And yesterday just blew my freaking mind. We got a fine young gentleman who's a chemical engineer who is yearning for something greater and more spiritual. He's looking outside of the box of organized religion into breaking that mold and creating something magnificent. He's 30 years old, and I know he's going to make some big moves one day to help serve humanity. And I really wanted to acknowledge you, Abby, for changing my paradigm.